Hello and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Mathematics with Shahab Yaqub. In this video, our focus is on P1, Pure Maths 1. The paper that we are dealing with is May-June 2017, variant 1-3. And we are focusing on the topic of quadratics, and in particular, we are focusing on completing square method. So let's do a simple question of completing square and let's see whether it's that simple or not. Now remember, this revision is part of the topical review of paper 1 and there is more content in the playlist that's shared. So now let's look at this one. It says express, that means convert 9x squared minus 6x plus 6 in this particular form. Now the very first thing that I want to focus on is this thing. Whether is this the completed square form? What do you think? Think for a second. Now let me write over here ax minus h whole square plus k. This is the completed square form. And if you remember that in order to do the completed square form, the first condition is that make sure the coefficient of x square is 1. And then whatever the constant is that remains on the outside, that is the coefficient of x square. And the coefficient of x on the inside is always 1. And then we know what h and k is, that is the turning point, and I'll just add some more spice to it. Now over here, this a is on the inside. So therefore, technically, this is not the completed square form. So technically not completed square form. But how do I do the conversion? It's for 3 marks. So the first thing is that you have to work it out just the normal way. Just say that you are doing a completed square question. So this is 9x squared minus 6x plus 6. The first step is that make sure the coefficient of x squared is 1. 9 is taken common. X squared minus 6x over 9 plus 6 over 9. Go easy on it. That is 9x squared minus 2/3 x plus 2/3. Take a step to simplify. There is no harm in it. 9 is still on the outside. X squared minus 2/3 x is there. Let me push this constant 2/3 on this side. And now what will I do? First add, then subtract square of half the coefficient of x. What is half the coefficient of x? Half of 2/3 is 1/3. So therefore this is 1/3, this is 1/3. Why do we do this? Because we want to change it into PSAE, perfect square algebraic expression. So now let's write this down, and this becomes what? This is x minus 1/3 whole square. Now wait a minute, there is a negative over here. Therefore, I should put a negative over here, I should put a negative over here. It's a very simple rule. That is, if the coefficient of x is negative, it's of the format a minus b whole square. And if this thing is positive, this is a plus b whole square. So therefore, this is x minus 1/3 whole square. Remember, 9 is still waiting on the outside. What about this particular part? So this is minus 1 over 9. This becomes positive. Negative is on the outside, and this is 2/3 like this. Now let me just simplify. This is 2/3 minus 1 over 9. Can I write this thing as 6 over 9 minus 1 over 9? That comes out to be 5 over 9. So therefore, let me again write it properly. This is 9. This is x minus 1/3 whole square. And this is 5 over 9. Now let's open up the bracket. When we will open up the bracket, this 9 will multiply with this as well as this. Now keep in mind, there is something very trivial and very basic, but people seem to forget. So basics should never be forgotten. So now this is 9, x minus 1/3 whole square, and this is 5. And now this is the completed square form, and we will use it a little bit more later on. But now what they're asking is this, ax plus b, the whole thing squared. The coefficient of x is a, and there is nothing on the outside. That is the main thing. So let me add a page which I already did. And can I use this rule a power m into b power m, that is a b raised to power of m? Indices, the heart and soul of maths besides middle term factorization. I'll write 3 square x minus 1/3 whole square plus 5. And this is just like 3 raised to power of 2. This is the bracket raised to power of 2. That is just like this. So what should I do? Take the power common and multiply on the inside. 3x minus 1/3 the whole thing square like this and plus 5. So what does it become? This is 3x minus 1 and square is on the outside plus 5. Is it of the format? Yes, it is. That is ax plus b whole square plus c. So this is ax plus b whole square plus c. If they ask us the values of a, b and c separately, so we will do comparing coefficient. I'll say a is 3, b is -1, c is +5. And first of all, let me just check the answer. 3x minus 1 whole square plus 5. So this is all good, all clear. Now let me add a bit of twist to it. So now this is something extra that is not being asked in the question, but it's asked elsewhere. Let me work on that. 9x minus 1/3 whole square plus 5. So this is 9x minus 1/3 whole square plus 5. Now let's say they ask us to sketch this curve. So that sketching will be based upon this format. You have to use the gold standard, which is ax minus h whole square plus k. So let me write it very properly. This is the gold standard equation that we will use, and this is for the completed square form. What is a? A is the coefficient of x square. If a is positive, that is the shape. If a is negative, it's upside down. And what else is there? H comma k, that is the coordinate of the turning point, also known as vertex, also known as stationary point. Remember these words because it might be useful in your exams. So I'll write a is +9, it's positive, that is the shape, minus h is minus 1/3, therefore h is +1/3 and k is 5. So basically I can draw a sketch, and let me just paste a grid out of here. Okay, this is not that visible because it's in black color. So therefore let me just use this green color, a straight line like this, a straight line like this. And let me mark the point 1/3 comma 5. So this is 1/3. It's just a realistic diagram. This is 5. That's the coordinate of the turning point. And let me just draw a curve like this, and let me just choose this curve and let me slide it over like this. Why doesn't it slide? Not sure. Okay, so maybe there is some issue with this. Okay, so now let me just draw the curve like this, and it's gonna go like this, touch this thing and then go up. Okay, so that is the y-axis, that is the x-axis. So based upon the shape, based upon the turning point, we are able to sketch this graph. Now they can ask you for the line of symmetry. So therefore x is equals to x coordinate of turning point, x is equals to 1/3. That is the line of symmetry. If they ask you for the minimum value, so the minimum value of this equation, that is 5. And that is the basic question that they usually ask. And naturally, when we will study functions, and in functions, we talk about domain, range, and all these things, but that will come later on. Right now, my focus is only on quadratics. So stay tuned for more content on mathematics with Shahab Yaqub.